What if the words we choose reveal more about us than we ever intended, not just to others, but to ourselves? Language is the fabric of every relationship, every misunderstanding, every moment of true connection we've ever had. So, what happens when a brilliant exploration of how we communicate forces us to confront the gap between what we mean and what we actually say? Maryellen MacDonald brings a rare depth to her work, weaving insights about human communication into a narrative that feels both intimate and universal. Set against the backdrop of deeply personal relationships and the invisible architecture of language, this book asks us to reconsider how meaning is made between people. It's a story that sits at the crossroads of science, emotion, and the everyday miracle of being understood. The first great theme is the hidden complexity of ordinary speech. The idea that every sentence we utter is an act of astonishing mental choreography, yet we perform it effortlessly, thousands of times a day. We rarely stop to notice that choosing a single word over another can reshape how a listener understands our entire meaning. This invisible precision in communication is something we all rely on, yet almost none of us ever examine. And that gap between habit and awareness opens the book's first fascinating door. Beneath the surface of how we speak lies an equally powerful theme. The ways language both bridges and divides us in our most intimate relationships. MacDonald explores how the same words can land completely differently depending on who is speaking, who is listening, and what emotional history lives between them. This is the terrain where so many relationships quietly fracture, not because of grand betrayals, but because of the small, accumulated weight of words that were almost right but not quite right enough. But the most profound theme may be this: that to truly understand another person, we must first learn to listen in a way that most of us have never been taught. MacDonald suggests that real communication is not just about sending clear messages. It is an act of radical presence, of setting aside our own internal noise long enough to actually receive someone else. This idea hits with the force of something we always knew but somehow forgot, and it leaves us with an urgent, personal question about every conversation we have ever walked away from too soon. What this book ultimately holds up to us is a mirror, showing that the way we use language is a portrait of how present, how courageous, and how honest we are willing to be with the people we love. It reminds us that communication is not a skill we master once and forget. It is a practice we return to every single day in every relationship that matters to us. Perhaps the most important thing we can take from these pages is the simple, radical commitment to mean what we say and to truly hear what others mean. If more than words stirred something in you, I'd love to hear. What's the one conversation in your life you wish you could have again with everything you now know about listening? Drop it in the comments. Those reflections always make this community something special. And if you want to keep exploring books that change how you see the world, subscribe and come back. Next time, we're diving into another story that will quietly rewrite the way you think.